Test cricket, you gotta stop doing this to us. India, England, you guys really need to calm down. This is getting too much to handle. We thought everything was going to come to an end on day four, and it looked that way for most part of the game. But the rain gods decided to say no. We had all four tests go to the fifth day. This test also has to go to the fifth day. Welcome back to Bodyline Podcast with Dylan Pink and Sheldon Doherty on the show. And what a test match this is turning out to be. What a series this is turning out to be, guys. And it's just one that's going to be remembered for a very long time just because both teams have been at it for all five test matches. And today, again, we've seen that both teams fighting it out, they're giving it their all. And once again, this test match gets into the fifth day. And I think for a very long time, we've not had a test match that's all five matches, I think, of a series that's gone on to the fifth day. Very rarely that does that happen, at least in the recent past. But it's been a brilliant display of skill, brilliant display of temperament, of emotions, of everything that this test series has given us. And India and England can be very proud of themselves, irrespective of what happens from here on. But I think it's going to be an England victory that's on the cards. It's around the corner and it's going to come soon. But Sheldon, your thoughts on the game? Who writes these scripts, first of all, Sheldon? Because I really don't know who really does this. How everything has been like planned out and worked out so well. And this test also going to the fifth day, we had all the drama that surrounded. We had two guys who stood up there, scored really well for England, held the fort when it was looking like India were all over them. But Harry Brook, Joe Root, I think we'll start with them. They played a brilliant knock there. Harry Brook just taking the attack to the Indian bowlers once again. And Joe Root, I think we've said enough about this guy. There's no more words to to be spoken about Joe Root. Just time and again showing his class, Sheldon. But your thoughts on the day's play today?
Well, just before I touch on any play or any, moment in today's game, I just want to say thank you to both these two teams because they've both provided us and I think cricket fans all over the world with great entertainment. This has been one of the great test series. I was probably too young to watch the Ashes in '05. I was five that time, so obviously I didn't watch it at that time, but I think I'm privileged to watch this series. I think it's been absolutely brilliant. Whether you're an England fan or an India fan, you can have your opinions on who's better, who's played better, but they've both been absolutely brilliant. All the players have stepped up. There's been top performances all around the board, and yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to say because I think you got to appreciate both the teams, regardless
Yeah.
of what happens tomorrow and who wins. It's been superb. Guys have been injured. Guys have had. You saw Punt on a broken foot. Tomorrow you could see Vokes with a broken eye and come out to bat, and that just shows that they're risking their careers. They're risking their. Stokes was injured last game. He also was injured, but he was risking it, just to try to help your team win, and that's what it's about. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, you talked about those two guys, those two Yorkshire batters as well. They were absolutely brilliant today. And I know England have made a habit of chasing and getting big scores, but it's still a lot, and it's a lot to ask for. Because when you came today, I think India were well on top. They were big time favorites, and I think the early wicket of Duckett and Pope also
Yeah.
pushed that advantage even more. And it really looked at that time it was all India. And then Brook just came out, Dylan. I think he didn't look at the score when he came out to bat. I think someone told him they're like 300 for three because he came out and yes, when you get out like that, people say it's reckless, right? But when it comes off like that, oh my god, it just looks brilliant. And I think also there's a weird relationship between Harry Brook and Indian fans because I know in his first year of the IPL he went and he didn't have a great season. He made that 100 and he kind of said, I'm doing it for all the people who have been abusing me. And since then, the relationship between Harry Brook and the Indian fans haven't been great. He also, I think, in the recent series when he went to India, said there was smog, so he couldn't see it when he got it or something like that. And that, got criticism. But I think this innings still has been one of top quality. I think, and I always believe, like with Harry Brook, he can be the best batter in the world. And he has that talent, he has the potential. Sometimes I think he just gets too bored at the crease or he just loses concentration and he just throws it away. We've seen in this series also, Dil, some
Yeah.
very deep shots, some brainless moments. And like that, he reminds me so much of KP because Kevin Peterson also does so much talent. At times, though, he plays a freakish shot and he gets out, and you're like, really? That's not what the situation demands. And this very similar to KP in '05 at the Oval. KP also made a big knock, which kind of put himself there. Brook obviously has made hundreds, but I think this is his best one. Given the opposition, given how much they were chasing, And given
Yeah.
also the match situation, I feel that was a top knock. And Joe Root, I mean, I don't know what more to say about him. I,
Nothing
I,
else to
I
say.
really
No
don't know.
comments on
Yeah,
Joe Root.
we've spoken about it the last three games. He's broken records, but he just seems to always amaze you when he comes out in bats. I mean, just the time he has at the crease still, and he also dedicated to Graham Thorpe. Obviously, this Test match was for Graham Thorpe. They dedicated this Test, and he puts on the headband. Then it just shows just the type of bloke Joe Root is. It's not about himself. He always, is about other people. It's about the team first, and I think Thorpe also had a big influence on Root when he started. He was a part of the selection community at the time, so he was influential when Root was just starting. So obviously it means more to him. And yeah, I mean, those two are brilliant and Rutil. I mean, I don't know what more to say. The guy is just a freak.
Yeah, Joe Root, absolutely brilliant once again, showing he is just pure class and just the greatest test batsman that this generation has probably seen. And it's just been a brilliant display of shots, about temperament, about concentration, everything. Joe Root and Harry Brook, like you said, just came out there, didn't know what the score was, I think, and he just kept going and going. But he got let off Sheldon, and how costly is that chance going to be? And you got to feel for the guy who let him off also, because he's had a
Yeah.
brilliant series on the other end. Mohammad Siraj, he went off the field for some time to just get some rest, but when he comes back on the field, Sharon, the ball just goes straight to him. And I think he wasn't aware where the boundary was or something. And Harry Brook, of course, on 19 pretty early on there. And you got to say, if the catch was taken then, the situation would have looked very, very different. But you got to feel for Mohammad Siraj, but sometimes you got to have that slice of luck in
Yeah.
this, in these games, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so unlucky that, and for Siraj, who's given it his all, with the ball, he's gone in day after day after day, and then that moment, it is unlucky because he just came on the field, so obviously he's not up to speed. Also, he just comes in first ball, there's a catch. He's not too sure where the boundary line is. You don't expect to get a catch there as well, and then he gets it, and his foot just touches the line. And for Brook, I mean, it was a big moment because easily Brook could have gone into his shell there and thought, okay, let me just see it off till lunch, but it's almost like
Yeah,
he went over aggressive after that, Dil. He's like,
yeah.
okay, I got a life. And then he just started going into overdrive. And from what looked like it was going to be 120, 130 for three at lunch, England suddenly raced to like 160, 170 with Brook just, pushing on the pedal. Then suddenly the momentum you felt was shifting at that time. And Brook just kept playing like that, Dil, till he got to like 100.
Yeah, and when someone plays like that, and you've got the non-striker who's the greatest batsman in the world
Yeah,
currently, number one,
that's,
your number one and number two is batting,
yeah,
at the crease there. There's not much you can do also,
yeah.
Sheldon. And I thought, it became easier to bat once the ball became old. And we've seen that constantly in this series. Once the ball becomes a little bit old, it gets easier to play. But still, you got to apply yourself, not taking anything away from Harry Brook and Joe Root. But what could have the Indian bowlers done, because at times they looked confused, the tactics, they didn't get spin on for a very long time. I thought he could have brought on Washington Sundar a bit early, but you've seen the moment the spinners came on straight away, they started going after them. Because what do you do then? Where do you look to find that wicket from?
Yeah, it's a very tricky situation because you also only have three seam bowlers. So how much can you keep going back to them, right? And
Yeah,
he did both spin actually back for a very long time. Like it was only until the second session, right? Midway or towards the second session, he
yeah,
thought of bringing on Jadeja or Sundar. And yeah, as soon as they came on, Brook and Root just targeted them, right? Till and you saw it was not turning. There was hardly a ball which turned, and
yeah,
it's very tough. Then I don't think you can really be critical of the Indian bowlers. I think when Root and Brook are batting like that, there's not much you can do. And especially in that afternoon session, the sun was out. It was looking good. The ball was coming on nicely. The odd ball was doing a bit, as it has been throughout this test. But yeah, it wasn't a minefield to bat on. But yeah, I thought India actually went about their task really well. And we even
yeah.
saw in the last session, Dil, a fight back from India as well. So I think you can't be too critical of the bowlers. I think with the bowling attack they were given and only three seam bowlers, I think they've gone pretty well.
Yeah, let's hope. But like we've said, we've seen a lot of test match is going right down to the wire. And when you think the team is dominating,
Yeah,
the opposition comes back and takes control. And India once again fighting back. Those three late wickets, Sheldon.
yeah,
Again, the drama that's going to unfold. And we thought the game was going to get done today, but Test cricket just loves to spring up these surprises there. Root getting out, Harry Brook getting out, and Jacob Battle also. and now you got two new guys at the crease there, and probably a few more wickets here and there, and India can win this test. But you got to say England are pretty much favorites here with Jamie Smith batting at the crease. And what's your take on that, Sheldon?
Oh yeah, I mean England, yeah, you'd say ahead, but yeah, definitely India came, fighting back towards the end there. They lent three key wickets as well. I think getting Root especially was the key one, Dil, because now India will feel they're in with a chance. You get Smith out early, and you're well in there with a chance, Dil. Smith is the key for sure, and I mean he's been brilliant as well, Dil, throughout the series. Smith, especially towards the start of the series. I thought the
Yeah,
first 2 3 games he batted brilliantly, and now it's all up to him, right, Dil, in probably his first big series as well to guide England towards the series when he was then not out in the first test when they chased down that big score. So yeah, can he do it again? A lot of pressure is on him, but yeah, it's not a lot to chase, but pressure does funny things to people. One early wicket, two early wickets, suddenly India feel their game on, and could we see someone come out with a broken arm tomorrow to bat? I mean, my God, we saw Vokes was actually in his whites today in a
yeah, yeah.
sling. My God, in a sling. Are we going to see that? Imagine that would just be something with one
And
hand coming out to
yeah,
bat
and
tomorrow.
Sheldon, we discussed this yesterday also. Like, we wouldn't be surprised if that's going to happen. We've seen a guy whose
Yeah,
foot was literally broken and fractured, and
yeah,
was probably not looking good, that he couldn't even take a step. But he comes out
yeah,
there hopping and hobbling around, and batting and scores a 50 also,
yeah,
So
yeah.
anything can happen, Sheldon. And that's what, like you said at the start of this podcast, that they are giving it their all. It's been dedication right throughout these five tests, and it shows you how closely this has been fought, Sheldon. But 35 runs more for England to get. They are 339 for six, chasing 374. Final thoughts on who's going to take this game and the series? It's looking like a 3-1, or you reckon India going to come back storming and take some quick wickets tomorrow, make it 2-2? Because deservedly so, I feel this series needs to be at 2-2, because there's nothing to take away from both the teams. They've been equally placed. And if you look at it, 25 days of test match cricket, you'd have said India have played much better and have applied themselves much better. But the smaller moments they've not been able to grasp, and that's where England have maintained their calm and won those moments, which has probably put them in 2-1, and now looking to win this test as well.
Yeah, well, I think what you mentioned there is a very fair point. I think 2-2 would be a fair reflection. And I think India would deserve a 2-2 the way they've played, Dil. They've been absolutely brilliant for sure with a young team. Shubman Gill, as we've discussed, Dil, first time captain. He's not had Bumrah for 2 games as well, with a pretty inexperienced bowling attack for most of the series, Dil. So yeah, they've been absolutely brilliant. And what you mentioned there, Dil, the key thing, the key moments. And India will be looking at this still, and they'll be thinking, oh, there was just those few moments in games still where perhaps they could have just won those moments, and they could have been 3-1 still easily. India, when
Yeah.
you look at it, even the 2 games they lost, they could have won those games. It was not like England ran away with them. But yeah, the cricket's insane. It could be 2-2 tomorrow. I think England do start as favourites tomorrow, with the fact that it's 4 wickets in hand and Smith is at the crease. But yeah, Smith is the key. If India get him early, India could very well win the game. But yeah, it also depends, still, as we know in England, the weather. How's it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be sunny? Is it going to be overcast? But we do have a fifth day, Dil, which is absolutely insane. 25 days of Test cricket is what was, what everyone anticipated, and that's what we got. We got all the days of cricket. Nothing was left. All the spectators got to watch each day, and it's superb. Dil.
Absolutely, and what a end this is going to be to this amazing series. The Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy is going to come to an end tomorrow at the Oval, where two teams are going to fight it out there. England 35 runs more to get. India need a few more wickets. We don't know if Vokes is going to come out. If Vokes is going to come out, that would be absolutely insane. Mohammad Siraj, he'll be looking back at the day and thinking if he had to take that catch, they would have been in a very different situation. But he's a fighter. He's a champion player and a very, very good bowler. And a lot will depend upon him, I think, when he starts tomorrow, that can they get some early breakthroughs and put England on the back foot. Because remember, it happened to India at Lords as well, where India were easily cruising along, and then England came back right in the game to stem India and deny them that victory. But stay tuned, guys, for tomorrow's final update on this Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, where it comes down. And do let us know in the comment section what you think about the series and about this match, where it had turned. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. The handle's in the description. And we'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.